Hello, my friends. It looks like Joe Biden is going to be pardoning his son Hunter after all. Shocker. Well, I can't tell you, I didn't see that coming because I totally saw it coming from a mile away, and I'm pretty sure everybody else did too. But let's check it out. Let's see what's going on. All right, let's do it.
CNN has learned President Biden will pardon his son Hunter Biden. CNN Chief National Affairs Correspondent Jeff Zeleny, I believe, is with us. Jeff, can you hear me?
And Jessica, yes.
Okay, what are you learning?
Look, we are just getting a statement from President Joe Biden. He's saying that today he signed a pardon for my son Hunter, and he goes through the reasoning why. Of course, Hunter is facing a sentencing later this month, but this is really a monumental moment for President Biden. He said several months ago in June, when he was still seeking a re-election, that he would not pardon Hunter Biden, but now we are learning he is. And let's just read through this statement quickly.
Of course he is. Who in their right mind would think that Joe Biden was not going to pardon his only remaining son? I mean, come on, give me a break.
Together. He said, today I signed a pardon for my son Hunter. From the day I took office, I said I would not interfere with the Justice Department's decision making, and I kept my
He already signed it.
Word, even as I watched my son being selectively and unfairly prosecuted.
Oh my gosh. That is rich. That is rich coming from Joe Biden. Oh my gosh. He perfected doing that to Donald Trump. Give me a break. Oh my gosh.
So this is a fairly long statement, about 4 or 5 paragraphs from President Biden, but really going through why he is making this decision. He also goes on to say this. He said, no reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion
that he's
than
guilty?
Hunter was singled out because he is my son. And that is wrong.
Oh my gosh. So his laptop where he's doing drugs with hookers and come on, this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Hunter is so guilty of so many things, and it's on videotape, most of it.
He goes on to say there's been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the...
So what? I mean, good for him, but so what? That has nothing to do with anything.
Face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. So, of course,
selective attacks and prosecution, like making up charges to go after Donald Trump that nobody else would have been convicted of or even put on trial for, except that it's Donald Trump. Give me a break. Be quiet, Biden.
Jessica, let's take a step back. You obviously covered the Biden campaign along with me, and this is something that Hunter Biden has been dealing with. This was a tax case, a gun case. He went through his trial in Delaware. There was another case in Los Angeles. But this is really the culmination of President Biden really making the decision tonight to sign a pardon for his son Hunter, not just a commutation of a possible sentence, but a pardon, which certainly will be part of President Biden's legacy going forward.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And as I'm
Legacy
reading this along with you, Jeff, I think one part at the very end is particularly striking, which is where he says, I have followed a simple principle. Just tell the American people the truth. They'll be fair-minded. And here's the truth. I believe in the justice system. But as I have wrestled with this, I also believe raw politics has infected this process, and it led to a miscarriage of justice. And once I made this decision this weekend, there was no sense in delaying it further. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. It is interesting to also hear him saying, essentially, that the justice system was politicized, which is something we've heard from Republicans and Donald Trump as well.
Yeah.
We certainly have, and important to note that President Biden spent really the weekend with his son Hunter and the rest of the family in Nantucket, where they always do for Thanksgiving. And this is a striking, really, ending to this Thanksgiving holiday. And with this statement from the White House we're seeing tonight, it is a official document. calling for a full and unconditional pardon for all crimes and punishments facing Robert Hunter Biden. So, but Jessica, the sentence that you read is so poignant. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. We will see, of course, in the coming weeks and months and years if Americans do understand that, but there is no doubt that this is part of the legacy of President Biden's one term in office. Certainly something he did not want. He hoped to run for re-election. He obviously...
Look, I can totally understand a father wanting to pardon his son. I totally get that. And quite frankly, it's just disingenuous, to say the very least, that Biden ever said that he was not going to pardon Hunter. I mean, come on, of course he is. But the thing is, Hunter is guilty. I mean, he's guilty. There's no getting around that. And that's the thing that just kills me, is that he's pardoning somebody that's guilty. It should be I don't know. It should be taken out of the equation whether he's a son or not. But obviously, that easier said than done. Anyways, oh my gosh, Biden, he infuriates me.
Obviously, stepped away from that months ago, but clearly there was pressure inside the family. We were told really in recent weeks that Dr. Jill Biden, First Lady Jill Biden, was very supportive of the president doing something like this. The president was not sure, but we clearly have seen now he has come to this decision to pardon his son Hunter.
Yeah. And Jeff, of course, we don't have to remind people how close-knit this family is, and that Hunter is his only surviving son, that they are, of course, very, very close. And we've heard many stories about the last several years, how they talk daily and many times a day. Stick with us, Jeff. I want to go to our senior justice correspondent, Evan Perez, who is back with us. Evan, what are you hearing from sources as we're getting this news tonight that President Biden has granted this pardon to his son, Hunter Biden?
Well, certainly, Jessica, this is something that a lot of us were anticipating. We were waiting for it, even despite the fact that the president has said repeatedly that he was not planning to give his son a pardon, would not commute his sentences. Keep in mind that he was due to be sentenced in the Los Angeles case dealing with his tax problems that was coming in the next couple of weeks. And so all of this is coming to a head. And so we've been watching and seeing what the President of the United States would do. I think, as you and Jeff were just talking about, I think, we'll see what the public, the American public, arrives at. But I think it's really remarkable to sort of step back and just read some of what President Biden is saying in here. Keep in mind, he took office in 2021, promising to sort of restore the institutions and try to restore faith in those institutions, including the system of justice, obviously, the Justice Department. Those are among the big priorities with him. That's why he chose Merrick Garland, a former judge, to be Attorney General. And then,
horrible choice.
If you look now where we are, what the President of the United States is saying is that essentially there are problems, there are political problems with the prosecutions that are being brought by his own.
Yeah, when it's affecting his family, there's a problem. But when it's going against his political rival, nothing to see here. Just keep on going. Nothing to see.
Own Justice Department. And, I think that's going to be a very, very tough pill for people to swallow on this issue.
Complete
because
hypocrisy.
Obviously it is a thing that we keep hearing from Donald Trump. And it's the thing that animates the Trump team over the next 4 years. You're already hearing from them that they want to destroy some of those institutions that they believe are stacked against them. And so
not just against them, against the American public. There needs to be a lot of revision to go take place in Washington, D.C. I just hope Trump can do it.
See President Biden sort of go to the same territory is kind of a remarkable turn to watch.
And then, Evan, just legally help people understand and just remind them this full pardon, what does that effectively mean? Again, that covers, as I understand it, all of the charges against him.
Right. As I understand and as I read this, it goes to all of the crimes and that he has now been convicted of. He was convicted of gun charges, gun-related charges in Delaware over the summer. I was there for that trial, and I also was in Los Angeles for the tax trial. And, you know, those things were both, just before it was going to trial, obviously, he ended up having a plea. But this would take care of all of those. Republicans have said, by the way, Jessica, that they want to take another look at Hunter Biden when Donald Trump takes office in January. So we'll see whether they can come up with something new that they can pursue Joe and Hunter Biden over. But
I don't think it's going to take very much time to find something else against Hunter. So, yeah. Good luck, Hunter.
For now, what this means is those charges that the special counsel David Weiss has pursued against Hunter Biden, which are gun charges in Delaware, as well as his tax charges in Los Angeles, both of those get wiped away clean.
All right, Evan Perez, stay with us. I want to go now to Isaac Dover, who is somebody who has covered Joe Biden, who has interviewed him. And Isaac, I first want to play a clip that we have of what Biden said about potentially pardoning his son earlier this year, and then we'll come back to you. So let's play that clip.
Let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
You have.
And so
out of it.
Obviously, I think that's when he was running for re-election, and the political environment was very different for him. You, as someone who has covered him for years, walk us through kind of his thought process, how he thinks about these things. We know, per our reporting, that this was happening a lot of it over the weekend. But tell us more about kind of how you think he arrived at this decision.
Yeah, this is something that has been a great pain to Joe Biden for many years and was weighing on him as he decided whether to run for re-election and then was deciding whether to stay in the race earlier in the year. He believes that Hunter Biden was being prosecuted for these crimes because he put the spotlight on the Biden family by running for president. He put the spotlight on his son. He believes that there are things that Hunter has dealt with, and in some ways, some of the issues that he's had over the years that Biden wasn't there in the same way that he might have been as a father, that some of the pressures that came on him from being in the
I don't think the problems Hunter had is directly related to Biden not being there as a father. Hunter's problems are way more deep-seated than that. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. This is ridiculous.
Limelight because of who his father was. And so Joe Biden has struggled with this. But look, there's really no disputing the change in position here from the clip you played to the decision that's been made tonight.
All right. Well, you know how I feel. I mean, like I said, I can see where a father would want, to pardon their son. I'd want to pardon my son. But at the same time, if I knew my son was just guilty, dead to rights, I mean, there's got to be consequences too, right? I mean, what happens if there's no consequences? Everything turns to anarchy then. Anyways, I'm not saying the country's going to fall apart if Hunter gets pardoned, but it's not going to look good for Biden's legacy, amongst other things. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like my reaction, then please consider subscribing and leave your comments down below. I do love hearing from you. All right, well, until the next video, stay safe, and we'll see you later. Okay, bye.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear.